It's like when you have no gluten. It's like I don't know. It's like some type of grain. I know it's in like pasta. It's in bread, and I don't know.
You can't eat wheat, right? I tried it for like a month, but I probably ate gluten.
I don't know, gluten-free is just kind of like an option that you have to, I don't know.
There's something in the wheat. I feel like I had a friend who's gluten-free and she couldn't eat most wheat products, so she had to buy special like crackers and cookies that like didn't have gluten in them, but that's all that I know.
After a survey of 70 students was taken online, we found that students are generally uneducated about gluten-free diets. Of the 70 students, 47.1% said that rice has gluten in it. Rice instead is a very common substitute for gluten products. In addition, we also learned that students do have some concept of what gluten is, because over 95% of them said that pasta has gluten in it.
Simply put, gluten is a combination of two proteins found primarily in wheat and related grains like barley and rye. That's it. It's just protein. These two proteins called gliadin and glutenin combine, creating gluten, which helps to nourish the plant's embryos and is a major component in giving the foods you eat that chewy goodness. It's kind of like glue. It makes dough stretchy and gives bread its sponge-like properties. It's in no way a toxin, as some may suggest, and gluten-free doesn't necessarily mean that food is more natural, healthier, or lower in calories.
Through research and interviews, we have determined that there is a perceived lack of gluten-free dining options in the on-campus eating establishments.
When you walk around the dining hall, do you see a lot of gluten-free options?
I don't think so, or at least it's not very clearly advertised.
No.
I don't eat it, so I assume people that eat it have options.
50 out of 70 people that we surveyed online said that the diner does offer gluten-free options to students, but not nearly enough. We talked to the South Campus Dining Hall manager to find out more.
Yeah, I'm Sean Tone, Assistant Director of South Campus Dining Hall.
What kind of options do you currently provide for gluten-free and other dietary restricted students?
Most of the gluten-free we have at each station will have something available because now it's a very large demographic for us right now. So what we have, like at the deli, we have gluten-free tortillas, gluten-free bread, all the types of bread, wheat, white. There's probably about 6 different types. We have gluten-free muffins, gluten-free bagels, salad sensations, everything's gluten-free except croutons. Most of the salad bar, everything's gluten-free. At the pasta station, we have gluten-free pasta, and we have gluten-free pizza crust in the back if somebody wants it too. Most of the things that we have are gluten-free were normal things that we had before. Like at Mongolian Grill, we had rice noodles as an option instead of the wheat noodles. So it's a lot of people just working on their own to figure it out.
After speaking with him, we were pleasantly surprised about the options available. The real question is, are the students who are in need of these accommodations aware of them and able to take advantage of them? Let's take a look as we talk to a few different students that have struggled with these issues.
Hi, my name is Shannon Stagg. I'm a sophomore, I'm 19, I'm an education major, and I have tried a gluten-free diet here at UMD.
Hi, I'm Gabriella Zagrocki. I am a sophomore mathematics major, and I am gluten-free, and I have worked in the diner.
What do you think is lacking in the dining hall?
Signs, or like people telling you that what sections are gluten-free and what kind of options that they have, because I know all last year when I was trying to like stay away from gluten, there were no signs and no one told me that there was actually gluten-free food in the diner. So
I think that the big problem is it's not very open. Like there's not signs posted telling students what is gluten-free, so you walk in and it's just overwhelming, and the one pamphlet they do have online, you really have to search for it, and there's not very many options on that. So I think I was very misled as to what was available in the dining hall.
Definitely not enough options. All I know of still so far is like pasta, just like a lot of just carb things, but not actual meals. Like the chicken's not gluten-free, like the breading, all that stuff. It's like,
okay.
Yeah, still not a lot of gluten-free options.
I know that you can make it so that it's more available. I think that there's a process where you order a week in advance or something and you get on a special dining plan, but just to walk in the dining hall that day and pick something out, no, I don't think there are enough options. I mean, I guess the best example I can give is the quick to-go sandwiches. they have maybe 2 or 3 options for gluten-free, so after a while I was just eating those same sandwiches to go every day. They don't have gluten-free bread at the deli station. It's very difficult.
I think that they're not really appealing to students, they're just appealing to what they can afford and what they have. They don't really like go out of their way to try to see what other people want or need or anything like that. Definitely not worth, how do I explain this? Not good enough.
Yeah.
Just not good enough at all.
I think they just need to make it a lot more clear and just have the signs up. It could be as easy as that. Like, even, it would be really awesome if they could have a station, kind of like the Sprout station, where it's just all gluten-free, or just have somebody in the dining hall at all times you can go to and ask about the food selection.
Based on our interviews and survey, we have come to the conclusion that the real issue is educating students about available options and making the options more readily and easily available. We have decided that using Cotter's 8-step model would be the best way to create effective change and really make a difference. First, we need to establish a sense of urgency. This can be done by sharing our findings with the dining services staff. Next, we need to form a powerful coalition. This can be accomplished by conducting interviews and showing how easy and cost-effective it is to make the change. In doing this, we will be able to create a group of change makers dedicated to our cause that includes both students and dining services staff. We have already created a vision for change. Our problem is the lack of education and awareness about eating gluten-free on campus. We propose better signage and accessibility to gluten-free alternatives paired with better worker education. The National Foundation for Celiac Awareness found that 42% of gluten-free students weren't diagnosed until after arriving at college. So this information needs to be obvious beyond freshman orientation. In order to communicate our vision, we have created this video to call attention to the case. We will also rely on word of mouth to get out our point. In order to remedy potential obstacles that might arise, we can alleviate worker resistance by communicating that this plan will not make their jobs more difficult, and they will be able to really help students by greatly understanding the dietary restrictions more thoroughly. General disinterest can also be avoided by making our campaign interesting and interactive. Finally, we can create a business plan to give to the university in order to show them that there is not really a huge difference in cost. This is no small project, and it can be very easy to lose focus on the real problem if goals are too long-term. In order to ensure that we maintain focus, we will put emphasis on the short-term wins we achieve. These will include effectively and successfully implementing a staff education program and an increase in the labeling efforts of the food in the dining halls. With the new momentum we have created as a result of our short-term wins, we need to build on that change and make a bigger difference. This can include continuing the education of dining staff, the creation of a gluten-free food station within the dining halls, and potentially a student advisory board for dining services to understand the needs of the student body better. By educating dining staff, better service for those with food allergies will become a larger part of the corporate culture. Often, change comes from the top, so making sure that higher-ups in the dining halls value these changes will help anchor these changes in the culture. In order to complete this plan, we need to have a transformational leader who will empower the dining staff. By employing this technique, we are not just implementing new rules and regulations, we are actually ensuring that staff values these changes and understands why they are worthwhile. Unfortunately, this type of leadership may make the changes move a bit more slowly because we would spend more time motivating and working with employees to make the changes instead of just creating new rules. Overall, we have deemed that this type of leadership will lend itself much better to creating lasting change. We believe that anyone, regardless of their dietary restrictions, can have a positive and convenient dining hall experience, and the changes we propose will help make that a reality for gluten-free students here on campus.